Good evening, Aries. So this is going to be a general reading for 2020. I'm using this Lenormand deck by Rona George, and I'm also going to be using a tarot deck to clarify for more information, and then also some dice here to try to get like a final piece of advice from this other deck here. So I'm gonna get straight to it. Let's see what we have for Aries in 2020. Once again, this is a Lenormand deck. I believe it originated in France. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in France in Napoleonic times. If you want to know more info about that, you can probably look it up on Google. Just look up the history of Lenormand. And it'll let you know. I think it's popular in France and Germany, or not as much in the US. But here we go. Okay, so what do we have for Aries in 2020? Alright, let's see. So I'm just gonna lay out these cards in. So this may not be the traditional way of doing Lenormand readings. I just kind of go with my intuition, and once again, mixing and matching Lenormand and tarot. Probably isn't the traditional way to go about it, but you know, I like to think outside the box. So I'm going to still laying out all the cards. Just bear with me. All right, so. Give me just a second. Let's see what we have. So I'm just gonna go through each card, and I'll show you each card, or at least the key cards. Maybe not every single one, but just the ones that kind of pop out. So I'm seeing that you, Aries, right now, you're in a place of kind of like a place of maybe dreaminess. However, it looks like sometime in like the beginning of the year, maybe like the first quarter or so, or maybe even like in the beginning half of the year. Yeah, sometime in the beginning half of the year, you're gonna have something really positive happen, represented by these flowers here. You're going to have a really positive, like beautiful event, whether it be achievement or just like happy, a beautiful ceremony of some kind, some form of just a beautiful event in your life. And then, but it does say here that you should be careful of, so this card, I don't want to like scare anyone, but it does represent maybe someone who's a bit deceptive. I think traditionally this card represents the other woman, or maybe some other woman trying to take her man or something. But I think in this case, maybe we should just go with a more neutral meaning, which is probably just like deception. Just be wary of somebody who has maybe like deceptive, sneaky, like snake-like qualities. This card represents money. So I think basically it looks like you're going to be headed from dreaminess to this amazing, beautiful event in your life, whether it be a ceremony, graduation, maybe promotion of some kind, maybe engagement, or just some kind of beautiful event. And then you're going to probably, I think I'm getting that maybe there are going to be people who are maybe a little jealous of you, possibly. So just be wary of that. Like if you look at here, like I'm wearing the evil eye, because that tends to apparently help with that. So maybe buy some evil eye jewelry to ward that kind of like those haters off. And then here we have so money. You're gonna get, strangely enough, yeah, you're gonna be dealing with this deception, and then you're gonna go into some money, quite a bit of financial success here. And I believe this card is maybe. So this fox card is maybe saying to be aware of, yeah, once again, kind of like like trickster type people, or it could also alternatively be saying, or alternately, excuse me, be saying that you should maybe be clever and keep your wits about you, possibly after the money coming in. And let's see, so there's going to be some kind of contract, some kind of agreement, maybe in the like middle part of the year. There's going to be some form of like agreement here, some important contract. We have the stork here, which could represent children or starting a new venture of some kind. So yeah, could even be like, once again, the document could be like a partnership or like a contract, marriage, even anything that involves like an agreement or a contract, using documentation. And so from the stork, you're going to reach an obstacle, I see, but it will lead to a successful outcome after the obstacle. And once again, this is going to be kind of like towards the middle, maybe middle of the year, maybe of 2020. And so yeah, you are going to, indicated by this card, reach success. But there will be an obstacle after the launching of this event. And you are going to have to work very hard once you reach success or reach that maybe like a higher corporate position or some form of success in some way. You're going to need to work really hard. And it's going to be working hard repeatedly, like repetition, like some kind of like maybe like a schedule of some kind that you're gonna have to work really hard with, not necessarily in a bad way, because once again, this is pointing to some form of success in the middle-ish part of the year. And then we have here the book. So it looks like, but then we have the scythe here. So I think that maybe it's telling you, if you're the type of person to really, really go by the book, maybe kind of like separate yourself from that a little. Don't be so like straight edge by the book, like straight as a bullet, because maybe it's best to kind of just like wing it sometimes. I mean, not completely, obviously, because that's common sense. Like, don't completely wing it, but maybe just like take it a little easy from that like straight by the book path. It's very strict. Maybe take it easy. And once again, this is towards the end of the year. And then here we have, this is like business, so you'll have maybe an influx of business, commerce, maybe you're like doing some side hustle on the side, new projects at work. But once again, don't go too by the book. Just remember that towards the end of the year. And then it looks like you're either going to be like traveling maybe for work, for business, or maybe even just for a trip. But I think that I'm getting maybe it's going to be somehow work related, or at least to expand like your business, or maybe to expand your business ideas. And you are going to run into a small amount of luck, represented by the clover. You're going to run into a small amount of luck, which is never good. Small batch of luck there at the very end of the year, which is great. Bringing in the new year, I guess, in December with like a small batch of luck here, which is great. Okay, so that was your reading from like the beginning to the middle towards the end of the year. I hope that was informative. Actually, I'm just going to leave this out because I may need to reference the cards that are laid out here later. But I'm going to try to clarify a little bit for you in terms of, let's see, we have this really amazing, beautiful event at the beginning of the year. I really want to like clarify. Oh, okay, card just slipped out actually, a couple cards. So we have the Hermit and the Knight of Cups here. So what I'm thinking is that if you might have felt a little bit alone, maybe towards the end of 2019, kind of like you have to go it alone basically, like you feel like maybe you can't really rely on anyone or anything, there's gonna be someone coming in, Knight of Cups, who's gonna be very dreamy, who's gonna fill your emotional cup, very sensitive, intuitive, some form of masculine energy. I mean, if you're a man, this can be a woman as well, or even just maybe a male friend. So yeah, masculine energy person who's very dreamy, intuitive, sensitive, and they're gonna help you with that. Maybe let you know, like, you don't have to be alone. I'll help you. and that's going to be related to this beautiful event, some form of ceremony or beautiful occurrence in your life that's going to be happening somewhere in the beginning half of the year of 2020, which is great. And I think that I want to clarify a little bit about this snake here, like what is going on. I mean, that's kind of, I think that I personally think it may be just related to that beautiful event, and maybe people around you, haters possibly, who are going to be a little bit envious maybe. Yeah, so here we have the Two of Swords. I really do think it is going to be just like some haters maybe, who are going to be, who you just have to shake off, you know, because it's going to lead to, once again, this success, this money, windfall of money, which is great. What else should we clarify here? This document, this important document, somewhere in the middle-ish part of 2020, you're gonna have this document, partnership, or some form of like contract or something important that's gonna lead to the launch of something, represented by the stork. Here, you're gonna launch something with a document. I want to clarify what that might be. Yeah, it's going to be a really positive event. You're going to launch maybe like a new business, launch a family even, launch a partnership. Maybe you'll get into a new relationship or engagement, or maybe even a marriage. But some form of contract with some other entity, excuse me. Could be business contract or something, but it's going to launch a whole amount of happiness, represented by the sun. And, oh, I think I actually reversed these cards. Okay, by accident. I think maybe we can clarify this travel card represented by the ship. Okay, let's see what that might mean. Okay. Oh, I pulled way too many cards, I think. It's just too many for one card. Okay, oh, well. This is an extra card here. Just ignore that one. But we have Two of Pentacles. So yeah, this is going to be related to business, I think, a business partnership, or maybe even going out, venturing out for new business ideas, possibly. But you got a lot of like money-related, business-related, like contractual agreements in 2020, looks like, which is great. But then you also have some beautiful events happening, and possibly some partnerships represented by the contract. It could be a business partnership, it could be even engagement or marriage, some form of like contractual binding agreement, which is going to launch something really positive. Once again, that was represented by the sun. All right, so next, last thing on the list is I'm going to roll the dice for you, and then give you like a word of advice using these cards over here, which is an oracle deck. So let's see, what do we have for Aries in 2020? What word of advice do we have for Aries in 2020? So we've got 7. That may be significant in some way. But so I'm gonna draw. So I'm gonna shuffle and then draw the 7th card from this oracle deck here. What do we have for Aries in 2020? What do we have for Aries in 2020? A word of advice. Something to pay attention to for Aries in 2020. Alright, so I'm just going to spread these out and pick a card. Well, actually, yeah, the 7th card. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so looks like, so this is the time to go card. So it looks like even with the all the business and everything, there is going to be a time when you're going to have to maybe cut off, not necessarily cut off, but kind of distance yourself from something that may be holding you back, I think, when it comes to business. or it could come to your partnerships, like maybe something is holding you back. It could be related to that snake card. Like maybe some people who are envious of you, maybe telling you like, oh, that's not a good idea, or like, oh, I don't think you're very skilled in that. And they're just kind of like, it could be like little things, but in reality, I think maybe they're a little jealous. So that could be holding you back. Or maybe like with the book card, it was kind of telling you to maybe not go so strictly by the book and maybe kind of wing it a little sometimes. Like that's okay to do. You know, chill. And this card may be saying like you need to distance yourself from that part of yourself. But I think that what I'm getting is maybe like if there's anyone or anything in your life that's discouraging you in any way from pursuing your business ideas or creative ideas or projects, or creative partnerships, or just regular partnerships with some entity of some kind, you gotta not necessarily cut it off, but know when to distance yourself from that, and do it wisely and in a mature, strategic way. And if it involves calculated risk, well, there you go. So, okay, that was your 2020 reading for Aries. I hope you learned a lot. Press like, comment, subscribe, share if this resonated with you. And once again, if you have any questions, just leave a comment in the comment box. And I hope you have the rest of your 2019. And I hope this was really informative and helped. So, see you later. Bye.